Hi, Gene. Oh man, I said it, didn't I? Hello, Gene. See, it's all your fault. You said hi, Breck, so I just went there without thinking. Going someplace without thinking. Yeah, that's the first time that's ever happened. Hello, Yvonne. How are you? There we go. Now people are starting to trickle in. Perhaps we both need forgiveness here, huh? Vodka's really nice, right out of the freezer, and no bear claws today, unfortunately. Wow, that was weird. That cuckoo clock went about 20 times. That was an issue when I picked up the cuckoo clock last time. He says that it sometimes still does that and it may require additional work. So yeah, it looks like maybe it needs additional work. It's been working perfectly for like more than a year, but maybe it's one of those things that gets progressively worse. Yeah, I did a whole episode on bear claws. You'd think they'd be more of a big thing around here with the Baylor Bears and everything. You think you have Baylor bear claws everywhere. I don't know. Am I the only person that's thought of this? Yeah, it's extra cuckoo today, literally, right? Even more cuckoo than you. I bet you they'd sell well at Baylor games, definitely. I mean, the whole concession stand would just be bear related stuff. Okay, that's enough for the brush. My arm's tired. What? Okay, enough of that nonsense. You have a gas laptop? Wow, that's awesome. I do that too, except they don't have natural gas in this part of Waco. This is true, Yvonne. This is true. Of course, we're all kind of just punishing ourselves if we have gas, because it's not like the rest of us are going to smell it, right? I mean, we've talked about bringing smell-o-vision to the live streams, but so far YouTube hasn't provided that technology. Still working on that. John Waters did some groundbreaking work on the subject, but it never really advanced much beyond that. Kind of slow around here. Come on, people, got to pick it up. Yeah, it's just everyone's bosses that apply. Hey, where did my job go? Well, the government decided they needed my money better than you did. Maybe if you apply for welfare, you can get 1/5 of that. Mondami's been trying that too, and a lot of the rich people are leaving now. Gee, who'd have seen that happening, right? Lived in California my whole life and moved here about 8 years ago now. Can you believe that? Almost 8 years ago. Yeah, I mean, if you told me at 40 that I would eventually leave California and go somewhere else, yeah, I probably wouldn't have believed it either. But it's where we are, or where we were. Guess it's just you and I, Yvonne. Yeah, see, one of the times I went back recently, well, not recently now, it's been a few years, but when my dad was still alive, uh, I actually went down to like the beach for the first time in a long time. And that beach air did smell good and it did bring back a lot of memories. But I don't know if it was 110 degrees, but it was at least 100. Yeah, I try and forget that. That was miserable days, but yeah, the heat kind of sucks around here too, but you just stay inside and it's okay. And I mean, I can deal with it a little bit. So if I have to go somewhere and deal with the heat for a couple minutes while I walk from the car to some building or something like that, I can do that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that was all about, and I don't know. We may never know. But ultimately, the revenge was gotten on pods because of their inability to take responsibility for their mistake and compensate me just a tiny little bit. They lost probably tens of thousands of dollars of revenue. Because my plan was to leave my stuff in the pods until I moved into the house. That was 14 months later. Three pods, 4 month, 14 months rent. That was a ton of money that they threw away just because they refused to take responsibility for their mistake. So whatever. I saved so much money having it in a storage locker, and I didn't have to drive to Temple every time I wanted something. It was just right around the corner. Yeah, no, I don't think it was necessarily cruel. I think it was an oversight. I mean, I haven't heard any reason to say otherwise. I don't know though. All I know is what I heard when Jordan talked about it. Yeah, well, whatever. I'm done with them. I've badmouthed them a whole bunch, and as far as I'm concerned, I'll never do business with them again. That's just the way it is. No, I didn't watch the Adam the Will Memorial. I'm finished with the pods, people, Susan. We were just kind of reliving the horrors of my first summer here, having to move all that stuff out of the locker or out of the store, the pods and all that. And I mean, it wouldn't have been such a bad job if if the if it wasn't like 100 degrees out there. If it happened like in February, that would be a nice time to be out there. November. I haven't really followed this story that much, but I did see Jordan's video giving his feelings on the subject. I don't know that. I don't know if there's something going on. I don't know if Jordan knows that there's something going on. I got rid of a whole bunch of stuff, Susan, when I moved, uh, but there was enough things that I wanted to keep that would make wherever I ended up, my home. So that was how I was able to fill this place up and be good to go here. Yes, I threw some stuff, well, gave some stuff away, when I got here. I came with a washer and dryer. I probably should just have left that. Came with a spare bed that went away. Came with a refrigerator that went away. I've been pondering that because Jordan's dad's been gone for a long time, but that makes sense. I don't know if I know this story. I know that they were already dating when he came visited me last time because I remember them talking to each other on the phone at night. But I don't know how they met. Maybe you said it somewhere. Does anybody else know? No, tomorrow's the day. I do the presentation tomorrow. I don't get tomorrow off. This is actually the last day of my weekend today, not the first. So I got to work tomorrow, but it's going to just be a part day. We're going to do the presentation, and then I get Tuesday off. Then we're back to work on Wednesday, and we start bringing the lines back up. So pretty quick here. I'll probably be doing both, Susan. I'm the Orson Welles of my time. Haven't decided yet, Susan. Yeah, we're all really low key at work. As long as I'm not naked, I'll make a good impression. I mean, being naked would make an impression, but probably not the one I want to make. No, no green beer keg for me. I wouldn't know where to go to get something like that. No, definitely not for the presentation. I don't know if I'd be able to answer that. I haven't been to McDonald's in I can't tell you how long. McDonald's is kind of the worst, I think. Their fries are really good, but their shakes are good. No, not yet. I did another section yesterday, though, so we're getting there. It's just one of these gradual things, but I got probably three or four more sessions involved. Yeah, see, if you're that, and I kind of agree. I mean, McDonald's food just isn't very good. You know, we have something here in Texas that's adored by Texans. I don't get called Whataburger, and I've had it a couple of times. And it's like, what do people see in this? It's a great, and you know, it's the same for McDonald's. I just their food, you know, hasn't really appealed to me since I was like 15. I've had it a couple times, but not, but you know, none of them been particularly good. One year for a Christmas gift exchange, somebody gave me a Whataburger gift card, so I made it a point to go try and find something that was good. Didn't succeed. It was okay, but you know, not the fact, you know, not good enough that every place you go, every few blocks there's a Whataburger. It just I don't get it. I like Wendy's burgers. I like Burger King burgers. Not really a Jack in the Box fan. And that's maybe what it is, Gene. Maybe I haven't eaten enough of it to become addicted to it. It's not as good as it used to be, but Burger King is still okay. In fact, it's funny they got a Texas variant of the Whopper here that's that's got like a jalapenos on it. It's really good. That could be it too, Gene. Maybe I'm just not susceptible. Carl's Jr. is good, but we don't have Carl's Jr. here. And Carl's Jr. has slid a little bit too. No, Carl's Jr. is good. I've always loved their Western bacon cheeseburger. And they had what, the $5 burger? It's probably a $15 burger now. That was pretty good. But I do wish we had a Carl's Jr. here. We don't even know Hardee's, which is sort of the same thing. Carl's fried zucchini is good. Yeah, I agree. I assume that's who you're talking about. Yeah, they do like a fast food brisket. It's okay. I don't know if I'd go as far as say it's amazing. It's okay. I've had amazinger. I guess from a fast food place, it's pretty good. Of I've never had a problem at Bucky's. Yeah, not me. No corned beef and cabbage for me. Of course, I've never really needed to access customer service, so I don't know. The only interaction I had with any employees was at the checkout stand. Yeah, corned beef is good. I don't have a problem with corned beef. Yeah, Bucky's are a lot of fun just to wander around in. I've been to at least four of them now. They all kind of have, they have a lot of the same branded stuff, but then they all kind of have like a section of just like local wares, local crafts, stuff made locally that's really cool. So, needless to say, the one in Temple, which is the closest one here, has a lot of Chip and Joanna Gaines stuff. And same with the one down in, what's it called? I don't remember what the town is because that's a big thing. And a lot of just local crafts and stuff like that. And so they're kind of fun to look through, and They're all different, but they're all kind of the same too. And it is like a big truck stop, except they don't allow trucks in there. It's really geared for people on road trips who are just need a chance to get out and walk around and find some snacks, and go to the bathroom, and maybe find some cool souvenirs. If you're interested, I've done a couple of vlogs on Buc-ee's. They're a lot of fun. Wow. I've consistently read about the world's smallest Buc-ee's, and I want to go visit that, but I haven't been able to figure out exactly where it is. I can find it within like a 50-mile region, but I can't actually look at a map and say, oh, yeah, there it is. That'd be a fun little road trip, right? World's smallest Buc-ee's. Everyone's always fighting to have the world's biggest Buc-ee's. Hey, Darth, long time. Welcome back. Well, it's good you're staying busy. Yeah, no, it isn't an official Buc-ee's. That's the problem. So you can't look it up on like Google and have it say. It just says the best I can find is that it's on some road within like a 50-mile stretch. And it is. I mean, it's a joke. It isn't really a Buc-ee's. It's some concrete building that somebody painted a Buc-ee's logo on. And so it isn't an official one. It's not like you can go look it up online and say, hey, where's the world's smallest Buc-ee's? No, it doesn't work that way. The video presentation is tomorrow, about 4 o'clock. I'll be doing it Texas time, and it'll probably go for about an hour. So it's all in the can. It's ready to go. I've tweaked and retweaked the videos, tweaked and retweaked the PowerPoint presentation. We did a dry run with the other guy that who's going to co-present with me, and I think we're ready to go. Yeah, see, that's what I've seen too, Yvonne. But there isn't a pinpoint on the map that like a lot of times say, hey, where's the nearest Buc-ee? There'll be a little arrow on the map says it's right here. You can zoom in and now, yep, there it is. You can go to get into street view. You can see it from the side, but it doesn't work that way. So Oscar E. Moore. I didn't know there was a meteorite gallery in Fort Worth. I'll have to look that one up. Hang on here. Let's add that to the wish list here. We have a recommendation to something that sounds like it might be fun. Okay, got the data. Thank you. What's there? I mean, I love meteorites and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I thought it was some sort of like a shed or something like that. Thanks, Susan. It'll be 5 your time, though, I believe. You want another treat? Who am I asking? Jeez. I've been kind of playing it safe lately and make him eat out of my hand this way here. That way I don't get bit, do I? End up with a lot of drool on my hand when I do it this way, but no blood, right? That's the point. And then what do? You knock one out of my hand. You klutz. I don't know. I mean, what am I going to do? I mean, in terms of finding out, they're just these guys are just kind of the feline version of mutts. What am I going to do? Find out who their daddy is and make them pay alimony? These guys are about. This guy's about to be 19 years old. I'm sure dad's no longer with us, right? So I don't know. I think it was more interesting when Jordan did Jaw because we were never really sure what Jaw was. We had they nailed it pretty well because Jordan's always described Jaw as a Jack Russell Terrier Chihuahua mix, and that's what Dad said too. So, but there's not so many little varieties of cats. He's a domestic short hair, so I don't know. He's a mutt. I don't know. Is Dad a Jersey cow? I mean, I think it'd be funny to see what the parents looked like because Bite and Nibble were such different looking cats. Actually, very similar markings but different colors. Nibble was more the orange and white, and Bite is more the black and white. Smoochies. Yeah, I haven't gotten around to watching Adam's thing yet. I didn't watch him that much. I'd seen him a few times, mostly with Jordan, because Jordan, when he was first getting going, he was way into Adam. So every time I'd go over to his house, he'd put Adam on to you know show me, hey, yeah, this is kind of what I want to do here, where I want to go with this. It is a huge loss for Jordan because Adam was probably, no, not probably, was absolutely the biggest influence in him getting going on the vlogging. Without a question. There were a couple others that he watched, but it always started with Adam. Yeah, I don't know how, I don't know if the DNAs they do on pets are that specific. It's going to tell basically, what kind of different breeds are in them. And I mean, it would confirm the assumption that Bite and Nibble are brother and sister. I always just assumed that. Because I mean, what's the likelihood that two 5-week-old kittens from two separate litters in a neighborhood that never ever had uh, cats wandering around suddenly both got away from their litter and ended up in my backyard at the same time? They had to leave together, and one followed the other, or they were abandoned there. Because I have questions whether a 5-week-old kitten could scale the cinder block wall into my backyard. More than likely, somebody threw them into my backyard, or let them loose on the wall, and they jumped into my backyard. Is that what the address is? Because I've looked for it a bunch on like different sites, and I haven't been able to really ever find it. But we'll make note of that. You're just the ultimate source of information today. Thank you. I should. Well, you weren't here last week, so let me go get this thing here. It isn't really per se a rock. It's what they call a volcano agate, and it's been shaped into a sphere. But it's kind of a cool piece. It's also one of the largest pieces I have. But it's really awesome with the black light, both the short wave and the long wave. I'm going to put it on here, and then I'll hold it up to the camera a little bit. But yeah, it's really cool with the black lights. There's a little big hole in the middle of it in the back there. So yeah, it's really neat under the long wave light. It's also cool under the short wave light, because it does some great stuff under that too. So that's a cool one. But it's really heavy too, so that's why I kind of prefer to leave it on the base whenever possible here. For those of you who were here last week, you saw that then, but look at that thing. Like I said, it's got this cool little hole in the back, so I can see you. Let's see, can I see you? There you go. I see you. So yeah, that's kind of cool, right? Because who doesn't want a big round rock that's the size of a soccer ball? Yeah, well, you've brought quite a bit to the conversation today, so you should consider commenting more often. I mean, I know we have some people that kind of just sit back there and watch, but you've contributed mightily to this episode today. Makes me wonder what we've missed. We got some really cold coming in today. In fact, it's supposed to come in, according to what I saw for the weather, it's supposed to kick in about noon. Let's see. Let's see. I think I got a weather front map on my phone here. Let me see. Okay, so it's still got a ways to go here. But like there's a cold front coming in tonight, and we're gonna go from 90s today to the low 30s tonight. So yeah, a 60-degree drop here coming in over the next few hours. Gotta love Texas. Yeah, it sort of does look like a map on the sphere. No, definitely not watering today. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do with the plants tonight. I think it's mostly gonna be wind chill that's the factor, and I think where the plants are, they'll probably be fine because they'll have kind of the wind is or the house is kind of a backstop. Yeah, I know that. And when you think about it, it does sort of look like a globe. You look at it from like that side, could easily be mistaken for a globe. But I assure you, it isn't. How wicked would it be if there was a globe where all the little sections that glowed were like continents and the rest of it was like ocean or something? That'd be awesome. Yeah, vegetable gardens go along well. Tomato plants, I was just looking at them before the show. They're all looking really good. Um, one of the jalapeno plant kind of got knocked over a little bit, but I got it kind of supported up and it's doing all right. Another one of them had a couple leaves that got damaged, but it's doing all right. The rest of them look fantastic. So I think I have a good start on my garden this year. No, that thing's bigger than a bowling ball. That thing's about the size of a soccer ball. It probably weighs twice what a bowling ball would. Yeah, I had to tell Kara though, I'm kind of slowing down on the spheres now. You know, because I got so many spheres, and it's like, okay, yeah, they're kind of fun, but no, it has holes. It just has really, really big holes. You know, you put your whole fist in there. I suppose if you want, you could put your thumb in there. I don't know. I don't think I'd want to do that though. I don't know. It's kind of hard. Really, really heavy. Plus, the fact it's kind of sharp in there. Yeah, sister's coming in a couple weeks. Won't be long now. Well, apparently the guy who's the head of the Waco Gem and Mineralogical Society was curious who had ended up with that. And so he was surprised when he found out that Kara got it. I think he'll be equally as surprised when he found out that I got it. No, I've planted jalapenos before. I've had a decent crop from them. I'm not going to say I'm not going to buy any more spheres, but I've been buying so many lately. It's like, okay, yeah, we got to stop. It is. It's a cool piece. That was why, even when I walked into the shop last time, I was saying, okay, no more spheres, no more spheres, no more spheres. And then I saw that one and it's like, well, crap. No, I haven't seen Ron in a few weeks. Yeah, I guess that I probably got a few things that could be considered museum grade. That's kind of cool to have stuff in your collection that's that cool, right? Yeah, at least we got Darth, so we're okay. Oh, I don't know. I just find that sometimes people fall in and out of interest in the channel. It's sad when it happens, but and then sometimes they come back. Because I haven't seen her post anything on the Facebook page either. Yeah, it could be. We'll see what happens. Darth theory could be true too. Flash is good. I was concerned about how cold it's gonna get tonight, and so I was gonna go find her right before the live stream and put her in her box. But turns out she was out and about, wandering around, doing her own thing. And I started thinking, okay, well, if I put her in her box now, she's just gonna walk out of her box. So I got to wait for her to get into hibernation mode, and then we'll put her in her box. But yeah, when it gets really cold like this, I have to keep her in mind. I don't think it's going to be so cold that I have to move her into the garage, but she's going to be in the box tonight, definitely. Yeah, well, there's a lot of people, like I said, that are in and out, and they're here for a while, and then they take a break, and then they come back. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe maybe Canada blocked my vlog because I'm too conservative. White straight male. I mean, holy cow, really? Yeah, I got to do a better job doing videos. Because yeah, I know it's been like one a week for a while. And sometimes I maybe just get used to that and they say, yeah, okay, that's the new normal. But it's still, if I get to the point where we, start doing stuff more often again, they can be here. I'm not limited to one a week. It's just that's how it works. And yeah, I'm glad you miss them. I do have to do better on that. Yeah, cooking vlog, restaurant vlogs, those are usually pretty easy. Actually, I had something that my boss's boss cooked for us a few weeks ago. He made the most amazing coleslaw I've ever had. I want to see if he'll share the recipe with me. He says it's something he made his own. Well, this is the end of my weekend today. Usually Sunday on live stream day is the first day of the week, but um, the because of the maintenance interval thing and because my presentation is tomorrow, I actually got to go to work tomorrow. So then I get Tuesday off, and then we're back to regular work for the week, and then I'm a 4 day weekend. So I don't know what'll happen this weekend, but we'll see what we can do here. No, when I have fewer videos is going up, the number of views tends to go down too. I have to be there the whole day, but my presentation is less than an hour. Jordan was doing that for a while too, and me too at the beginning. But when it got to the point, I'm always going to be different than either Jordan or Adam because that's what they do. That's their job. I'm I got a big boy job that I got to do too. So I tried to do right at the beginning when I started the job. I tried to do continue doing the daily vlogs, but the upload process doesn't actually take long. It takes uh, you know 10, 15, 20 minutes depending on the length of the video. But I mean, you got to remember, you got to shoot the vlog, and so that's all those sections, and you have to edit it together. And usually, whatever the runtime is of the video, it's probably twice to three times that for the editing time. Inserting the transitions and if she's interested in going on video, we'll see what happens. I don't know if anything has really surprised me. I'm kind of doing things I'm interested in. I've gotten to do some things that are really, really cool. So got to see some really fun things. I think it depends on what your internet connection is. If you have a real high speed network like I do here, then then you can upload pretty quick. My videos usually are, I don't know, half a gig to a gigabyte each, I believe. And on a fast network, you can upload that in, you said 10, 15 minutes. I don't know. I don't really follow it because what I'll do is I'll start the upload and I'll walk away. Yeah, and I mean, I think if you look at the time where I was vlogging every day, got to the point where it's like, the content, well, the quality of the content was starting to go down. Yeah, my sister's more a chatterbox than I am, and holy cow, if you ever met my niece, la 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 la, yeah, really. And yeah, she does tutoring. That's what she does now. She's a teacher, and kind of gave that up when had kids. She had a degree in what biology or something like that. And so she was a biology teacher, and now now she could go back to teaching if she want. I think she just likes doing the tutoring, and she works in the or she worked. I don't know if she still does now because both her kids are out of high school now and out in their own lives now. So I don't know what she does there, but I believe she still does the tutoring. No, she does like online tutoring. So it'll be, half a dozen or more kids at the same time, and they're like doing it through what Zoom or something like that. I didn't really get biology when I took it in high school. I took it again in college and did pretty well. Although there it was a semester that was compressed into like 4 weeks. So I thought the data came at me a little fast. I didn't do as well maybe as I would have if it had been spread over a whole semester, but it seemed like a good idea to get it out of the way in 4 weeks. She's a smart woman. No, not a doctor, just a teacher. Just a teacher, yeah, right. A teacher. Remember, every doctor was taught by a teacher. Yeah, I don't really think she's really doing it for the money. I think she loves teaching because she doesn't need money. I think she really likes doing kind of the small groups. It's more about the teaching for her than the money. But I think this is more than tutoring per se. It's more like online help with your homework. So these aren't kids that are, getting tutors because they're falling behind and they need the help. They're getting tutors because you need someone to help with the homework and stuff like that. That's what she does. She isn't the teacher. She's just someone that, like I said, helping with homework. The homework is collected in class, and she doesn't grade the students. Yeah, I'm not sure how the compensation works. If it's something set up directly through the school, it seems to be that she's dealing with kids specifically from one school. But I don't know. I've never really dug that much into the issue. Yeah, we got to remember $120 an hour doesn't mean that they're online for 8 hours or 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. They may only be online for a couple hours. At least that's how I see it with my sister, because she isn't on all the time. It's for an hour or two in the evening. Huh. I would not have known that, Susan. Yeah, unfortunately, that's true about most school districts in the cities. Now, my sister is in Folsom School District, so that's kind of a small, out of the way district, and it's pretty well managed. But Frisco's in Cali. Yeah, I tend to agree, Susan. Especially when the parents are more active in the school district. Because I think that's the biggest thing. If the parents are active in it and making sure that their kids get the best education they can, they generally do. Also, if you have a smaller district, the priorities of the district tend to work their way into the school more than if you're in a big district and are being your voice is drowned out by thousands of others. Yeah, you're right, Gene. Absolutely. That's things you see a lot less of also in bigger schools is metal detectors and all that kind of stuff. Although even now that's becoming necessary because you never know in these days who what weirdo might decide, hey, let's go in there and do something. A lot of people doing that too, Darth. It would be the best, but unfortunately, a lot of households can't do it because both parents are like in the workplace or something like that. But even there, you find maybe one parent who's maybe willing to homeschool with half a dozen kids or something like that. That's still, I think, a lot better than most public education, or at least a lot of public education. I'm not going to say most because there's a lot of great school districts out there. I'm just, I think, more of a school choice fan. Let the money follow the student, and let the parents make the decision. There's going to be some parents that just aren't good parents and aren't going to make the right decision. But having a federal bureaucracy that makes the wrong decision for everybody isn't an option either. And labor unions, yeah, school board is hugely important. And if you're concerned about the kids' education, that's the best way to influence that. And if you get people that aren't respecting what you believe, then you run against them. Yeah, but the advantage with school choice is the parents remain in control. If school A isn't doing it for them, they move to school B or to school C, and eventually the market deals with it because schools that aren't doing a good job, they go out of business. Here they just keep getting subsidized on and on. And I think it's not necessarily the size of the population, but the size of the school district. Because I think a big part of the problem is when you, and I'm going to use Los Angeles as an example. Los Angeles covers 20,000 square miles of territory, and that's all one school district. And so if you're one little teeny tiny school district over here and the whole rest of the district thinks a certain way, you're out of luck. You're going along for the ride. If there was one school district here, if it was just a bunch of little teeny tiny school districts that were all independent from each other, I think that schools would improve in bigger districts too, because then the parents would feel, hey, I can influence this. But if you can choose the school, you generally can go with like a private school that hires privately their teachers. And if that private school wants to really make it, make their school the best, then they can hire only the best teachers and get rid of bad teachers and stuff like that. And that's how we're going to fix this is with free market solutions here. People go with where the quality is. Yeah, but even their private market forces will usually deal with stuff like that, Darth, because if there's demand for something and this school's filled up, another school will pop up to pick up the slack. My sister went to UCI, University of California, Irvine. Yeah, me too, Darth. I've learned more from just what I've learned from life than I think ever from school. You know, the education when I first went to college to be a recording engineer, it didn't get me a job as a recording engineer. All it did is it enabled me to be in the right place at the right time when I got the CD job, and that was the next 22 years of my life. It paid for the house, it paid for this house, and then there was Disney, and I tend to try and ignore that. And now this place, and I'm back where I want to be again. I think they call it the School of Hard Knocks. Yeah, well, it's a valid opinion. Well, unfortunately, too many times today, colleges teach you what to think, not how to think. and the education reflects the biases of the college professor. I've been reading that one of the things that there's companies out there are starting to do is one of the things that automatically gets your resume thrown in the trash that never would have imagined, you know, 10, 20, 30 years ago. People who come to their interview and bring their parents along. Apparently, that's a thing now. And you say, yeah, that's the best way to ensure that your resume gets thrown in the trash if you bring your parent along. Well, I mean, Department of education has gotten worse since they've been involved. So yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, trade schools too. They should be pushed as hard as college is. There's a lot of people out there that just are not college people, but they're smart. And a lot of trade schools can provide you a very, very decent living. Yeah, that's the most your parents should be involved, and only until you have your own driver's license. No, there'll always be room for trade schools because you can't offshore welders, you can't offshore all sorts of you can't offshore electricians, plumbers. That's got to be somebody's got to be able to do that. There'll always be room for trades, at least until AI takes over all the trades. I mean, I got a friend who's a machinist. He makes really good money doing that. Not a day in college. When I was in high school, I wanted to be a vet, but I worked at a vet for, well, a couple of vets for about a year and a half out of high school and got over that. By that time, I decided I wanted to be a recording engineer. So that was what I started studying. And, you know, that didn't really work out, but that's how I got the CD factory job. You remember, I was a really marginal high school student, very marginal college student. I barely graduated from either. Yeah, pretty much music manufacturing. That's it exactly. DVD, video, Laserdisc, Blu-ray, CD, CD-ROM, CD video, video CD, CDI, CDG, CDRW. Probably never heard of most of those things, have you? Yeah, my closet is kind of a museum of failed optical disc technology. I don't know. I never was much of a public speaker until I started doing the vlogging. So you know, I don't know. We'll see what happens tomorrow when I do my presentation. Yeah, I got the episode 4, 5, and 6 on Laserdisc, the original versions before Lucas started editing. The one that shows that Han shot first. Thanks, Darth. Appreciate that. Yeah, I got rid of most of my Laserdiscs before I moved. You remember that Robolights place that Jordan used to go to in Palm Springs? The guy that built all those goofy sculptures and painted them pink and blue and stuff like that. Yeah, I donated most of my Laserdisc to him, so that probably ended up in some project somewhere. I think that's when Jordan and I went to Las Vegas for Jaws' like fifth birthday or something like that, and we stopped off Palm Springs first and then drove to Vegas. Well, I mean, I'm sort of a teacher anyway. Every job I've ever had that I was with long enough to be good at it, I ended up being the trainer, including the current job. Now I'm not allowed to train anymore because I'm a lead, but been to Joshua Tree with Jordan too. Yeah. Well, see, that was all part of the interesting thing with this. I had to learn how to do PowerPoint. I haven't done PowerPoint in 10, 15 years, and it was like 2 weeks in a class. And from there I had to figure out how to do it all. But I was able to, I knew how to do the basics, and then I just had to figure out, okay, I know what it's capable of doing. How do I do it? And I figured it out. It's actually about a dozen different video clips in there, and we'll go through the bullet points of the presentation, and then we'll show the process, and then we'll go through bullet points of the next part and show the process. So there's it's that kind of thing. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I knew that I could figure out how to make PowerPoint do what I needed to do. So, like I said, I know what it's capable of. It's just a matter of figuring out, okay, how do I do that? And fortunately, the online tutorials were pretty simple to follow. There'll be a Q&A at the end. I haven't really played around with AI that much. I don't know. I've seen too many movies like The Matrix and Terminator to fully trust artificial intelligence. It always comes out bad. Exactly. I like movies about automatic or artificial intelligence robots killing humanity. I'm not so interested in experiencing that live. Yeah, I'll wait till it comes to some medium I can watch. I like movies that are unintentionally humorous. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say the new Elvis movie is good. I don't know. It's not really a subject I'm interested in, but I'm sure Jordan will see it if he hasn't already. I have a real dark sense of humor. Yes, I've got a copy of Napoleon Dynamite, but and I've watched it once or twice. I didn't twice. I didn't really get it. I've been thinking might be one that might pull out again and check it out. Yeah, Melania is an amazing person. Press says Trump is a Russian asset, so consider the source. Yeah, I don't have Prime though. I don't know. We'll wait and see if it floats around. And I mean, it's not one of those things that I naturally would be, drawn to. When I heard there's a Melania documentary, I said, why? Yeah, that's a lot for a movie that you don't even know is going to be taken seriously, especially when you consider the fact that half the world is automatically going to hate it. And I guess I start to see the reason behind that. And I guess I've heard that excuse too, that the media doesn't give her any kind of recognition at all. So, well, anything's going to beat the Kardashians. No, the press would never do that. The press only tells us the truth. They would never lie to us. Oh, Bite was out here a little earlier. He's visited us a couple times today. Usually here at the beginning. He was here at the beginning. The only one to feed a treat would be me, Darth, and I not really. I've tried those; they're not that good. Yeah, I know. And Darth has the authority to call for a treat for Bite, but he doesn't have the authority to tell me I have to eat the treat. No, thank you. Nope. I'll eat a ghost pepper live on a live stream, but not a cat treat. Sorry. I got to have my standards. I saw a bite out of the corner of my eye. Well, that's what I heard, or that's what I thought, because sometimes he'll hear his name and will peek his head out. He knows what his name is. All that does is wind up all your pets, John. I mean, it probably will bring Bite out here too. I'm sure I'll see him in a second here. Let's just play the odds here, see if he comes. Yeah, yeah, that does usually work. So he walks about 5 feet and sits down. Yeah, see him get another 5 feet out of him. And down he goes. He probably doesn't know what all everyone's name is. He's at least heard your name. Yeah, he's definitely a fat cat. Yeah, if I put him on the treadmill, he'd probably just lay down, take a nap on it. Yep, no doubt about it. He's well fed. No, but the only thing he climbs onto now is the couch when I'm out here during the live stream. You know, I took down the shelves in their room because he wasn't using them anymore. He wouldn't go up on the shelves anymore after Nibble passed. So there's no sense in having him up there. Yeah, he has the exercise yard and doesn't use it. That's how that works. Well, he hasn't really gained that much weight. He kind of holds his weight. He's just kind of been a big boy all his life. And last time the vet saw him, he says, "Yeah, I'm not really concerned about him being a little overweight." So I don't know. He's not gaining weight. He's just a big boy. Always has been. I think he actually eats less now that he uh, doesn't move around as much as is active. I don't know. I haven't weighed him in a while. He was probably about 18 pounds. Yeah, that's probably the next step. I think that was a big part of me taking the shelves down too, so that when that time comes, the transition's a little easier. And honestly, the shelves came down easier than I thought they would. I don't know. Maybe I haven't put them on a scale in a while. Yeah, I remember the day too. He just tried to make it and didn't have enough oomph in his jump, and he ended up falling back. Yeah, he's a million laughs here, aren't you? Come on, staring at me ain't gonna make it happen. Oy. I don't know if he can do it. He doesn't seem to have the oomph for. He's gonna be 19 on the 20th. He's an old man here. I'm thinking the closet's gonna be the ultraviolet room. I don't know if I'll repaint him or not. The green might be a little bit too much for the rock specimens. Besides, everything's going to be like shelves up against the wall anyway. Nothing's going to be hanging on the wall because I want it all freestanding on the floor. I've thought about painting it black actually. That might make sense. I mean, that's sort of the color theme that Kara has in the store too. UV, but maybe the whole room. It would also deaden the room a lot, though, I think. I'm not even sure if I would, block the window or anything. I might even do that at some point. I bet you I could rig up some sort of little thing that I could just, wedge into the window space and block out the window. I don't know. We'll think about that when the time comes. That may be years away yet. Well, for the record, I put in the final order for the grave marker this past week, so that's in the works now. That's about to get built. But David Lynch would do some weird pattern on the floor or something like that. Something extremely strange. And I'm pretty sure it would be blue velvet instead of black. So you can get you to come up here. It might be a little too much Jackie O. How many people up here have actually seen the movie Blue Velvet? Just curious. And what did you think of it? Susan, seen it? Did you like it? Yeah, it's a great movie. It is. It's sort of a dark art movie. Yeah, if I'm going to turn that into a black light room, I'll definitely have to spend some time figuring out how to do that. There is a light fixture in there and a switch outside that I could turn on. So yeah, I love In Dreams. That's a great song. In fact, I did karaoke once at a friend's house, and that was the song I did. I even had the little light in front of me, like Dean Stockwell has. Suave Ben, the candy color clown. I got a few UV posters. I've shown them before. Some of my Guided by Voices posters are very clearly UV uh, posters, but I don't think they'll go in there. I could conceivably put UV lights out in the hall. That would be kind of cool. It's got some very disturbing scenes. Yeah, no video of me singing there. I did make a CD of it though, so it exists. Show you the thing you'll never, ever, ever get to hear. Yeah, there it is right there. And there's the track listing if you're interested. You see track 8 there. That's me right there. I did Roy Orbison two times because I did Crying down here. You can see it, but you're never going to get to hear it. I don't know. That's an awful lot of money. They take an awful lot of money for that. That's a real CD too. That isn't some burned CD. At the time, that was when I was working at the CD factory, and so it had a certain amount of latitude where I could sneak things like that in. You gonna trade me a telescope for this? Come on, you're wasting your money now. And I guess I can sing a little bit, but I had to be really drunk when I made that. I know it's 1 o'clock already. Thank you, Gene. Appreciate that. Yeah, it should go well. I'm comfortable with it. I mean, I got the advantage. I wrote the material, so I know what's there. I love it how everyone just ends the live stream for me when it's time. Yeah, I'm not concerned about it. I think it'll go well. I'll tell you what. I'll hold the CD up to the screen there. You can count the ones and zeros yourself, and you can make your own. So that's it right there. I hope you got that. Oscar night tonight. All right, something I won't be watching. Bunch of prima donnas saying how great they are and signaling to the rest of the world. He's got some movies that I like because I liked. I mean, I've got Blue Velvet. I've got Eraserhead. Twin Peaks. I thought was really great. Um, Wild at Heart was okay, although I don't have a copy of that. Oh, I mean, I'd see it if Ricky Gervais was doing it, just for how that Golden Globes thing went a few years ago. Yeah, I haven't watched. I don't think I've watched the Oscars since I was in my 20s. It just isn't relevant to me anymore. I can't stand any of the people. I mean, I'm not even interested in the movies. Yeah, I got the Twin Peaks TV series on DVD. I also got the movie. The movie's really good. Yeah, Jack Palance. I like Jack Palance. Yeah, David Letterman turned into a loon. Unfortunately, that's what happens with a lot of these people. They just become more angry when they get sober, and then they're not funny anymore. because I used to watch David Letterman every night. Not at night, but I'd like record it and then watch it the next day. Used to like Robert De Niro too. Can't stand him anymore. Okay, well, I think we've beat this subject to death. So I'm going to pull the plug on this one. I'll check you out next week and we'll pick this up and continue then. Thanks to everyone for watching. I had a good day today. Good night.